So, hello, my name is Liz Annette, and I am here with Joel Hopper, Rachel Brycelyn, and Ryan Strollo, and we are doing a report on child abuse. Rachel's going to talk to you about the history and the background of our topic.
Okay. I use DoSomething.org as my source, and I'll just talk about the background. According to DoSomething.org, every year approximately 3.3 million reports of child abuse involving almost 6 million children are made in the United States. That is a shocking statistic that deserves the attention of every individual. Child abuse may be physical, emotional, or sexual mistreatment. This includes things such as beating, neglect, rape, abandonment, etc. There is not a common trend when evaluating the victims. It happens at every socioeconomic level, every race, religion, etc. Since the beginning of time, children have been abused. Most of the time it is by someone whom they are close with or know well. Rarely their abuser is a random individual. Countless studies have evaluated why this is happening to children everywhere. They've found that it happens for many reasons, for example, stress, mental health, lack of maturity, lack of resources to care for a child, and they were abused as a child and are never breaking the cycle. As stated by DoSomething.org, sometimes the child suffers more from emotional abuse than they would if they were physically abused. Emotional abuse can be the cruelest and most destructive child abuse. A child can have lasting effects from every type of abuse, including psychological, physical, and social. They begin to feel unworthy, unloved, and rejected. It is hard to recognize when a child is being abused, so it is important to teach your children to speak up if something is not right. They need to understand that there are people to help them. They should always have a trusted individual in their lives that they can go to if something is not right. It will be nearly impossible to put a stop to this epidemic unless we hear their voices. If you know someone who is being abused, the most important thing you can do is convince them to get help. You should be there for them physically and emotionally, be sensitive, and listen to what they have to say. Getting help isn't always an easy decision, so it is crucial for the child to know that they are not alone.
Okay, so Joel, you start yours.
Intergenerational transmission is one of the biggest causes of child abuse. That is someone who has experienced child abuse in the past or something. Generally, as they go on through their life, they pretty much abuse others as they get older. It is believed that the child's age, behavior, if they have any illnesses and stuff like that, and how they look play a big factor in whether or not a child is more likely to be abused. Age is just depending on if the parents are able to deal with their behavior at that age. So sometimes they can deal with an age, better than they can others. Also, the parents' social situation, their lifestyle and everything. Okay.
Am I up now?
I guess, yeah.
Alright, I'm talking about why she should consider our cause. Because there's such a high percent, it affects such a high percent. 20% of high school kids say they've been bullied. 28% of middle school kids said they've been bullied. These percentages are from an article from bullying.com. 70% said that they have witnessed bullying, and 30% admitted that they were the one bullying. And that just shows that it pertains to everyone. Everyone's witnessed bullying at some point or another. And because of cyberbullying, there's even more people that it's affecting even more people now. Around 80% of all children said that they were bullied either in person or online at one point or another. And on the other hand, child abuse is just as much of a problem. As Rachel stated, more than 3 million reports have been reported involving child abuse, and that involves over 6 million kids. That comes out to about one report every 10 seconds in the U.S. That article is from childhelp.com. A lot of people and a lot of kids don't really know how to deal with child bullying. The best thing to do is to just tell a parent, or if the parent's the one doing the abusing, tell another trusted adult, whether it's your aunt, your uncle, or a teacher. This is a growing problem, even though there's a lot of support groups out there and campaigns being done to stop it. The numbers don't show any signs of slowing down, so it is a big problem.
Okay. Here's some stories and statistics about child abuse. Child abuse is an unfortunate phenomenon that affects many people and many lives. One of the stories that I found particularly most heart-wrenching was Michael Mullen, who was a young 20-month-old baby who was bound in 6 blankets until he was so tired of screaming and crying and begging to be released from the tightening grip. He cried for hours until eventually wetting himself and slipping into unconsciousness shortly before 6:30 p.m. on October 19, 2013 in Fort Myers, Florida. His mother and grandmother are the people who wrapped him up in the blankets and said that they would not release him until he calmed down and changed his behavior. His 3 other siblings have now been placed in foster care, and the Department of Children and Families is still investigating his death. The Department of Children and Families has received 4 reports of his family being abused since 2008. Unfortunately, there was never enough evidence or proof to prevent the death of Michael. Another case is Cooper Harris, a 22-month-old baby who was locked inside his father's car while his father was at work. His father says that he forgot to drop him off at daycare on the way to work, and his father is now being charged with second-degree murder and child cruelty, and is pleading not guilty. There are few organizations in the United States that record the percentages of children who have been maltreated and abused. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the National Center for Child Abuse came out with the results in 2007. 62.8% of children are neglected, 16.6% are physically abused, 2% experience medical neglect, and 7.1% experience sexual abuse. That leaves 14.3% other children who suffer from abuse as well. According to the research done by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 4 out of 1 girls and 6 out of 1 boy are sexually abused before they turn 18. And finally, the Joyful Hearts Foundation reports that there are about 6.2 million reports of child abuse each year, as Joel and Rachel previously stated. These numbers are high, and you might be wondering about how you can get involved. Well, the organization has marches and so much more. The Joyful Hearts Foundation, which is partnered with the show Law & Order SVU, gets involved and has so many options. You can donate money, buy items from their online personal store, volunteer, host fundraisers, or join in the movement Say No More. That is all we have on child abuse. Thank you for listening.